Yo guys, what is up? Max or Diablo 4 video, and today we're talking about if you should play on World Tier 1 or World Tier 2 when leveling a new character in Season 1. Now, I've heard both sides of this argument, and I just kind of wanted to go do my own testing, and today I wanted to show you guys what I found and why it's not a black and white answer of you should always be on World Tier 1 or always be on World Tier 2 for the fastest leveling. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get right into it. So before I tell you what difficulty is most efficient for leveling a new character in Season 1, I just wanted to point out that obviously you can play whatever difficulty you would like. If you want the game to be more challenging or more easy, obviously that decision is entirely up to you, but what I want to cover in this video is what is technically the most efficient. Now, the reason that World Tier 2 is now in this conversation, because I think kind of their large consensus was that World Tier 1 was the better difficulty for leveling new characters when Diablo came out. The reason that's kind of switched up is now we are starting with a ton of Lilith statues. We're carrying over all of our Lilith statues, and so we're starting with so many more base points. We've got more points into our ability damage. We've got more points into armor. We've got more base stats that we're starting the game with, and so our characters at level 1 are more powerful. In addition, we now have more skill points. All characters that did the renown are going to be starting with 5 skill points at level 1. That is a massive improvement, and as you level up, you're just going to be constantly ahead of where we were when we were originally leveling new tunes. So should you be playing on World Tier 2 or World Tier 1 with these new characters that you're starting in Season 1 as a stronger class? Now, the reason this changes has to do with the content that I was farming. So Temple of Rot is pretty much the best experience farm for new leveling. The reason Temple of Rot, this stronghold, is so good is because it is always going to keep enemies a higher level than you. If you just go into a dungeon and you're killing enemies in a dungeon, those enemies will be on your level, especially in World Tier 1 and 2. We're not doing Nightmare Dungeons. We can't set their level to anything weird, so they're always going to be on our level, and if we learned anything from Nightmare Dungeon farming, you always earn more experience if you're killing enemies that are higher level than you. So the leveling strat is going to be basically doing temples and doing strongholds up until you get to a certain leveling point. Now, Temple of Rot enemies, they go up to level 30, and once you're level 30, instead of being like multiple levels above you, they start being 1 and 2 levels above you, versus you could go to Temple of Rot at level 25, and then they're obviously going to be 5 levels above you. And I found going to Temples of Rot earlier on a lower difficulty so that we could start farming that content sooner rather than later sped up my leveling process a ton. However, once you were basically caught up to the enemies in Temple of Rot, and they stop scaling so drastically above your level, then you could swap it to World Tier 2 and farm faster. And so what I think the strat is going to be, at least what I will be doing, is playing on World Tier 1 up until level 30, and then staying on the Temple of Rot, playing on World Tier 2, and getting my gear up, and then farming at that speed with the more experience. Now, you may be asking, well, if Temple of Rot stops scaling at 30, why not go do a different stronghold? And I tested other strongholds, these strongholds that scale up to 40 and 45, and I was shocked that I found that Temple of Rot was still better. The enemy density, the amount of elites, Temple of Rot, even when enemies are not multiple levels higher than you, was still the best XP farm out of the strongholds that I tested. So that is going to do it for the video, just a quick informative one. All in all, if you are playing solo, I strongly recommend playing World Tier 1 up until around level 30-ish, and then pushing it to World Tier 2. At level 30, you should have your build online, you are going to have some legendaries, and your character is going to be cooking, and you can efficiently farm World Tier 2. But if you cannot efficiently farm World Tier 2, the amount of XP is simply not worth it. It's not even close. World Tier 1 and the faster killing led me to significantly more experience per hour doing the exact same content. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. That is my opinion on the XP matter. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace.